All right, I will call to order the Planning Commission meeting of Thursday, November 7th, 2024. If we can start with roll call, please.
Sir, roll call for Chair Dennison,
Here.
Vice Chair Simcock,
Here.
Commissioner Brennan,
Here.
Commissioner Moran,
Here.
Commissioner Yu.
Here.
Chair Dennison, you have quorum to conduct business.
Thank you. I will look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So made.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next up is the approval of minutes of the September 19th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting. Does anybody have any edits that they would like to propose? Hearing none, I will look for a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
One abstention.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
One abstention. Motion carries. Next up, we have our council liaison report.
Good evening. Good evening, Planning Commission. We don't have too much to report on, just a lot of questions from the public about different codes and things, and especially since the ADUs and all the work you guys have been doing, just updating them on where to find that. So the new platform that you guys have provided soon, the city has provided soon for online access, and also the online access for looking at what projects you guys have already approved has been fantastic, because we can just refer them right away to the online resources that you guys have already, and all the work you've done. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up is community input. At this time, any person may address the Planning Commission concerning an item that is not on the agenda. The Commission welcomes your attendance and participation. When addressing the Commission, please begin by providing your name and address for the record. Please keep comments to no more than 3 minutes to assure an orderly and timely meeting. Hearing none, we'll move to the public hearing, but first we'll start with a disclosure of site visits and ex parte contacts.
I have not been there since we attended, I don't know, a few months ago.
Same with me. I did make a site visit this week on Monday and met with the homeowner, who's the homeowner for tonight's certificate of appropriateness. We discussed the adjustment itself to the property, and generally toured the property. I was there for about 25 minutes. That's all I have.
All right, and I was there previously, but have not returned for this visit. All right, next up, we have a public hearing for the certificate of appropriateness, CA 2405, Edgar W. Camp House, Green and Green Architects, circa 1904. Does staff have a presentation?
Yes, Chair Dennison, Senior Planner Wolf will deliver the presentation.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Tonight, the Planning Commission will be reviewing the Certificate of Appropriateness. This is for 327 Sierra Woods Drive, and it's for the landmark known as the Edgar W. Camp House. It was built in 1904. The request for Certificate of Appropriateness is for the change of a window that is visible from the public view. The property is historically significant in its architecture as designed by famous Green and Green architects who you see on screen. The character-defining features include Japanese-style wood rafters below eaves, rectangular bay window at the southern facade, French doors, multi-light entry doors, pressure-treated shake roof, triangular and rectangular attic vents, stone chimneys, exposed beams, and wide eave overhangs. The property is named for its original owner, Edgar W. Camp, who was noted as significant to Sierra Madre's early development as being director of Sierra Madre Water Company and a member of the Sierra Madre Board of Trustees, and played a part in adopting the city's first ordinances and creating legislation for street work, crime prevention, zoning, and beautification. The Planning Commission reviewed the request for landmark designation on November 16th, 2023, and the City Council reviewed and approved its designation on January 23, 2024. The project is located on Sierra Woods Drive. That's a cul-de-sac off of Grandview Avenue. From a high level here, we can see that the property is currently in the R1 zone. It's surrounded by other development that occurred later on. Zooming more into that, I can see outlined in green is the property's original site. And over time, development occurred. So when the home was originally built in 1904, the lot was about 7.28 acres, and it fronted Grandview Avenue. Although the building footprint is askew to the configuration, it is believed that the southern building elevation was the primary facade, since its architectural drawing has been retained in archives that was shown on the blueprint in the previous slide. Today, the home's eastern building elevation is more prominent, and the historic primary facade is tucked away due to the installation of Sierra Woods Drive and the pattern of development that occurred first in the 1930s, which you see highlighted in green, especially around the western portion, and later in the 1950s and 1960s, which occurred at the northern portion just there off of Fairview, and the 1960s where the Sierra Woods Drive development occurred. Zooming in more, I've included a plot plan with the building footprint and highlights where the exterior alteration will take place. Here's what you can see today from Sierra Woods Drive, really zoomed in. Recalling the historic setting, remember that the elevation would have been far less visible from public view since the Sierra Woods Drive cul-de-sac was not built until the 1960s. Circled on the slide here is the window that will be modified. Note that it abuts an attached structure, which is an addition incompatible with the original architecture, as evident from the deviation in window size and pane configuration. Also, its roof design and siding material are evidence of its incompatibility. The circled window is a squared, wood-framed, in-swinging casement window with a small fixed light of glass next to it. The proposed window would increase the height of the existing window by lowering the sill height in alignment with the existing window to the left. Window width would also match with the existing window on the left. Now, here's a elevation drawing by the architect, and outlined is where that change would occur. At the left window is a double hung window, and to the right is one to match similarly. So findings for each standard of the Secretary of Interior Standards are provided on page 10 and 11 of the SAPFOS Historic Design Review, which is attachment B of your staff report. And from those, I would like to focus on standards 3, 9, and 10, which you do see on screen right now. Those are as read from the standards. But essentially, to ensure that a false sense of historic development will not be undertaken, the architectural historian has essentially stated that the new window will need to include a fixed pane of glass so that it's not double hung, which would acknowledge a departure from the extant condition. This departure can sufficiently meet the conformance with the 9th standard in that the fixed pane of glass is clearly differentiated from the existing double hung windows. In meeting the 10th standard, the architectural historian has stated that essentially the new work can easily be reverted to its original developed condition. For local conformance, there are 2 findings for a certificate of appropriateness. In the first one, staff finds that the proposed work has been evaluated by an architectural historian, and the work proposed meets the Secretary of the Interior standards for the treatment of historic properties for rehabilitation. For the second finding, it simply doesn't apply here, in that there is no case of new construction, new improvement, addition, building, or structure, rather the replacement of an existing window for a new window in similar location. Nevertheless, staff agree with the findings of the architectural historian in the conformance of the Secretary of Interior standards. Thus, there will be no adverse effects with the use and exterior of the historic landmark, and the new window will be compatible with the original craftsman style and demonstrates differentiation from historical development by being configured with a fixed pane of glass. For environmental conformance, the project does qualify for a Class 1 existing facilities and Class 31 historical resource rehabilitation or restoration categorical exemptions. Those full findings can be found in your staff report as well as the Planning Commission resolution. I've also placed conditions of approval on this one. Conditions 2.3, 2.4.3, And 2.5 would ensure that the new window will be configured per the recommendations of the architectural historian, and that one fixed pane of glass will be included. The alternatives tonight are for the Planning Commission to approve the application and issue a certificate of appropriateness pursuant to Resolution 24-15, or approve the application with modifications, or deny the application identifying the findings that cannot be made for approval and direct staff to prepare a resolution for denial, or continue the public hearing and provide direction to staff and the applicant. Staff recommends the Planning Commission approve the application and issue a certificate of appropriateness pursuant to Resolution 24-15. That concludes my presentation. I'm open for any questions, and the homeowner is present tonight as well.
Are there any questions for Senior Planner Wolf?
No.
All right, thank you. Did the applicant want to say anything? Not obligated to. Welcome to, but not obligated. Okay, great. All right, at this time, any person may address the Planning Commission concerning this specific agendized item. The Commission welcomes your attendance and participation. When addressing the Commission, please begin by providing your name and address for the record. Please keep comments to no more than 30 minutes to assure an orderly and timely meeting. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and bring it back for deliberation. Anybody want to start?
I am fine with the window.
Already. I think that's everyone's,
Yes.
Yep.
I'm ready to approve, yes.
I'm supportive as well.
All right. Then I will look for a motion to approve this certificate of appropriateness.
I'll make a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness as provided by the staff.
Second?
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Planning and commission reports. Anybody have anything to report? Then Planning and Community Preservation Department reports.
Thank you, Chair. So for the upcoming meeting in on November 21st, we do not have any project lined up, so that meeting will be canceled, and we will proceed with, continue the meeting to December 5th. And I do have an update for you regarding Alverno Villa CUP that was reviewed by the City Council. The annual review was conducted on October 8th, and City Council directed staff to amend the CUP. So the amendment was approved by City Council on October 22nd. And what was updated was the number of events. It's updated to 20 events for the year 2025. And City Council also directed staff that City Council would like to conduct another semi-annual meeting sometimes in March 2025.
So if I can get clarification on that, they're going to have a semi-annual meeting, but then the review in November will come back to us.
The following, yes, October. Because the annual meeting is on October.
In
but-
October.
But their semi-annual review date was set on March 2025.
You want more clarification for why?
No, I'm asking the annual review that is due in October of '25 to determine if it gets renewed. That's going to be City Council again, or that's going to be Planning Commission?
That hasn't been decided by City Council.
Okay. Okay.
And the number of events annually is set to 20 going forward, but it was previously, do we know?
13.
13, but the initial one was 26.
I see.
So
Okay.
Planning Commission lowered it to 13.
Uh-huh.
It was appealed and affirmed at 13. And then the next review was done by City Council rather than Planning Commission. And they moved it up to 20. And so it'll be at 20 for that year. And then is it set at 20, did they set it at 20 just for that year and then revert to 26? Or did they leave it at 20 forever for now?
On the resolution is 20 events for year 2025. So they have not decided on the year moving forward. So it all will be dependent on the semi-annual review or the annual review.
Okay. So we're still going to have an annual review, but it's not going to mean anything?
The annual review will be conducted by if City Council decided that it will be conducted by Planning Commission, then you will review the period between March to October for the future year.
Okay, thank you.
Do you guys want any more information on why those things happen and why we set up an intermediate, another intermediate?
No, thank you.
You can watch it, you'll know.
Right.
I will know I am traveling for business on the 5th, so I will not be at the meeting on the 5th.
All right, anything else from department reports?
No, that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Then I guess we will, well, since we're not technically canceling tonight, right, because if something comes up, then we will have that meeting. So then we will adjourn to our normally scheduled meeting of November 21st. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was quick.
Okay. So it's not canceled.